Welcome, dear listeners, to another spine-chilling episode of 101 Ghost Stories. I'm your host, Greg, and today, we're embarking on a terrifying journey to uncover the 10 most haunted places in the world. Each location we'll visit is steeped in history and soaked in tales of restless spirits and eerie encounters. But before we delve into these ghostly tales, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all our subscribers for your continued support. If you're new here, please don't forget to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more hair-raising content. Now, turn off the lights, get comfortable, and prepare to be haunted by the most chilling stories from around the globe. Our journey begins in the heart of Scotland, at the imposing Edinburgh Castle. Perched atop an extinct volcano, this fortress has witnessed centuries of history, battles, sieges, and the execution of countless souls. It's no wonder that Edinburgh Castle is said to be one of the most haunted places in the UK. The castle's history is a tapestry of blood and betrayal, a perfect breeding ground for restless spirits. One of the most famous ghosts is the headless drummer boy. First seen in 1650, he is believed to appear only when the castle is about to come under attack. His headless figure, drumming an ominous beat, has been spotted by numerous witnesses over the years, each recounting the eerie experience with trembling voices. But he is not alone. The ghostly piper is another tragic figure who roams the castle. Legend has it that he was sent into the tunnels beneath the castle to explore them, playing his bagpipes so that those above could track his progress. He was never seen again, but his music still echoes through the castle grounds, a haunting melody that sends chills down the spine of anyone who hears it. And then there are the prisoners. Held in the castle's dark and damp dungeons, many met gruesome ends, their spirits lingering long after their bodies had turned to dust. Visitors have reported feeling sudden drops in temperature, hearing disembodied voices, and even seeing shadowy figures lurking in the corners of the castle's many rooms and corridors. The sheer weight of history and the countless tragedies that unfolded within its walls make Edinburgh Castle a hotbed of paranormal activity. It's a place where the past refuses to stay buried, and the dead walk among the living. Next, we travel to the City of Lights, Paris, but our destination is far from the romantic streets and bustling cafes. We're descending into the dark, labyrinthine depths of the Catacombs of Paris, a vast underground ossuary that holds the remains of over 6 million people. The catacombs were created in the 18th century when the city's cemeteries became overcrowded, posing a health risk to the living. To alleviate this problem, bones were exhumed and transferred to the underground tunnels, creating a macabre city of the dead beneath the streets of Paris. The air down here is thick with the scent of decay, and the walls are lined with countless skulls and bones, arranged in patterns that are as mesmerizing as they are unsettling. But the catacombs are more than just a repository for the dead. They are a place of legend and horror. Countless stories tell of visitors who entered the catacombs never to return, lost in the maze of tunnels and passages that stretch for miles beneath the city. Ghostly apparitions are said to roam the corridors, and many have reported hearing whispers in the dark, though no one else is around. One of the most chilling tales is that of Philibert Espert, a doorman who, in 1793, ventured into the catacombs in search of a lost treasure. He became disoriented in the darkness and was never seen alive again. 11 years later, his skeleton was found near a staircase, identified only by the keys hanging from his belt. To this day, his ghost is said to haunt the catacombs, his spectral figure wandering the tunnels in a never-ending quest for escape. The catacombs of Paris are a place where the living dare not tread lightly. The oppressive darkness and the countless souls whose remains line the walls create an atmosphere of dread and unease, a perfect setting for tales of ghostly encounters and supernatural horrors. From the heart of Paris, we journey to the banks of the River Thames in London, where the formidable Tower of London stands. This historic fortress has been a symbol of both power and terror for nearly 1,000 years. Its walls have witnessed intrigue, imprisonment, torture, and execution, creating a perfect storm for tales of restless spirits and haunted echoes of the past. The tower's most famous ghost is that of Anne Boleyn, the ill-fated second wife of King Henry VIII. Accused of treason, she was beheaded within the tower's confines in 1536. Her spirit is often seen in the Tower Green, where she met her tragic end, or wandering the corridors with her severed head tucked under her arm. Witnesses describe her as a beautiful but sorrowful apparition, her spectral figure gliding silently through the shadows. Another well-known spirit is that of Lady Jane Grey, the 9 Days Queen, who was also executed here. Her ghost, a young woman in a long, flowing gown, has been seen standing at the window of the Bloody Tower, gazing out mournfully. The sense of her lost youth and tragic fate lingers in the air, a palpable presence that brings a chill to those who encounter her. Then there are the princes in the tower, Edward V and his brother Richard, who were imprisoned and presumed murdered within the tower's walls. Their ghosts, 2 small boys in nightgowns, have been seen holding hands and staring sadly from the windows of the Bloody Tower. Their spectral figures are a heart-wrenching reminder of innocence lost and a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. The Tower of London is also said to be haunted by Sir Walter Raleigh, who was imprisoned in the Bloody Tower for treason. His restless spirit has been seen pacing the grounds, perhaps reflecting on his lost freedom and unfulfilled ambitions. Visitors and staff alike report unexplained phenomena, from sudden drops in temperature to eerie sounds and disembodied voices. The tower's long and bloody history has left an indelible mark, creating an atmosphere that is both haunting and haunted. It's a place where the past is ever present, and the ghosts of history walk among us. Next, we cross the Atlantic to the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, where the iconic Stanley Hotel sits nestled in the scenic landscape. This grand hotel, known for its stunning architecture and breathtaking views, also harbors a reputation for supernatural occurrences that have made it a pilgrimage site for ghost hunters and horror enthusiasts alike. The Stanley Hotel is perhaps most famous for inspiring Stephen King's terrifying novel, The Shining. King himself stayed at the hotel and had a nightmare that would form the basis of his story. But the hotel's reputation for hauntings extends far beyond fiction. The Stanley's history is rich with ghostly legends and eerie encounters. One of the most frequently cited spirits is that of Elizabeth Wilson, a former housekeeper who was injured in an explosion in room 217 but survived. She is said to continue her duties in the afterlife, with guests reporting that their belongings are mysteriously unpacked or moved during their stay. Elizabeth's ghostly presence is often accompanied by a sudden chill or the scent of lavender, her favorite perfume. The hotel's founder, Freeland O. Stanley, is another ghostly resident. He has been seen in the hotel's lobby and bar, dressed in his finest attire, surveying the establishment he so lovingly built. His spirit seems to linger, ensuring that the hotel remains in good hands. But it's the 4th floor of the Stanley Hotel that is considered the most haunted. Guests have reported hearing children running and laughing in the hallways, even when no children were present. The ghostly sounds of a piano playing from the empty music room are also common, believed to be the work of Mrs. Stanley, who loved to play during her lifetime. Room 401 is another hotspot for paranormal activity. Guests have reported feeling an unseen force tugging at their covers, seeing shadowy figures, and hearing disembodied voices. The room's closet is said to open and close on its own, as if unseen hands were at work. The Stanley Hotel's blend of grandeur and ghostly presence creates an atmosphere that is both inviting and unsettling. It's a place where the living and the dead coexist, where history is ever present, and where the spirits of the past linger, watching over their beloved home. Our next journey takes us deep into the heart of Mexico, to a place that is as eerie as it is intriguing. Located in the Xochimilco Canal south of Mexico City lies the infamous island of the Dolls, or La Isla de las Muñecas. This small, remote island is not just a tourist attraction, it's a shrine to fear, and it tells a story that is both tragic and unsettling. The island's tale begins with Don Julian Santana Barrera, the island's lone caretaker. One day, he discovered the body of a young girl who had drowned in the canal. Soon after, he found a doll floating in the water, which he hung on a tree to honor the girl's spirit. Over time, Don Julian collected more dolls, hanging them all around the island as an offering to appease the spirit of the drowned girl and other spirits that he believed were haunting the island. Today, the Island of the Dolls is a macabre spectacle. Thousands of dolls, in various states of decay, hang from trees and buildings. Some are missing limbs, others have empty eye sockets, and all are covered in dirt and cobwebs. The sight of these dolls, swaying in the breeze, their lifeless eyes staring blankly, creates an atmosphere that is profoundly disturbing. Visitors to the island report feeling a heavy, oppressive energy that seems to cling to the air. Many claim that the dolls' eyes follow them as they move, and some even believe they hear the dolls whispering. It's not uncommon for people to experience sudden chills or feelings of dread, as if the spirits of the island are watching their every move. There are also stories of the dolls coming to life at night, moving their heads and limbs as if animated by some unseen force. Witnesses have reported hearing the soft, eerie voices of children and seeing shadowy figures darting between the trees. Don Julian himself passed away in 2001 under mysterious circumstances. He was found drowned in the same spot where he had discovered the girl's body all those years ago. His death only added to the island's legend, with many believing that his spirit now roams the island, continuing to care for his collection of dolls and the spirits they are meant to appease. The Island of the Dolls stands as a testament to the power of folklore and the enduring belief in the supernatural. It's a place where the boundary between the living and the dead is thin, and where the whispers of the past echo through the trees, carried by the wind to those brave enough to listen. From the haunted waterways of Mexico, we travel to the quiet village of Watton-under-Edge in England, home to one of the most haunted buildings in the UK, the ancient Ram Inn. This unassuming structure has a dark and sinister history that has earned it a reputation as a hotspot for paranormal activity. The ancient Ram Inn was built in 1145 on a pagan burial ground, and its history is rife with tales of witchcraft, murder, and satanic rituals. It's said that the inn's foundations lie on a ley line, a supernatural path that channels spiritual energy, and that the site was once a place for human sacrifice. The energy from these ancient rites is believed to have left a dark stain on the inn, one that attracts spirits and entities from beyond the grave. One of the most infamous spirits is that of a witch who was burned at the stake in the 1500s. She is said to have taken refuge in one of the inn's rooms before her capture, and her restless spirit now haunts the building. Visitors have reported seeing her ghostly figure, feeling an oppressive presence, and experiencing sudden drops in temperature. The bishop's room is considered the most haunted room in the inn. It is said to be home to several spirits, including a cavalier, a high priest, and even a demonic entity. Guests have reported seeing ghostly apparitions, feeling invisible hands touching them, and hearing disembodied voices chanting in Latin. The room's sinister atmosphere has caused many visitors to flee in terror. The inn is also haunted by the ghost of a young girl named Rosie, who was murdered in the attic. Her playful spirit is said to tug at visitors' clothes and giggle softly, a stark contrast to the darker entities that lurk in the shadows. The current owner of the ancient Ram Inn, John Humphreys, has experienced numerous paranormal events during his time living there. He claims to have been thrown from his bed, pinned down by an unseen force, and even witnessed objects moving on their own. His stories and the countless tales from visitors make the inn a magnet for ghost hunters and paranormal investigators. The ancient Ram Inn's oppressive atmosphere and its long history of dark deeds create a setting that is both captivating and terrifying. It's a place where the veil between this world and the next is perilously thin, and where the spirits of the past continue to make their presence known in the most unsettling ways. Our next destination takes us to the picturesque town of Banff in Alberta, Canada, home to the majestic Banff Springs Hotel. Nestled in the heart of the Rocky Mountains, This grand hotel, known as the Castle in the Rockies, is renowned not just for its luxurious accommodations and stunning views, but also for its eerie tales and ghostly encounters. The Banff Springs Hotel has a rich history dating back to 1888, and over the years, it has become one of the most haunted places in Canada. One of the most famous legends is that of the Ghost Bride. The story goes that in the early 1900s, a young bride was descending the hotel's grand staircase when her dress caught fire from a candle. Panicked, she tripped and fell down the stairs, dying from her injuries. Her spirit is said to linger in the hotel, and many guests have reported seeing a veiled figure in a white wedding dress wandering the halls or dancing alone in the ballroom, her tragic story playing out for eternity. Another well-known ghost is Sam Macaulay, a former bellman who worked at the hotel during the 1960s and 70s. Sam is said to be a helpful spirit, assisting guests who find themselves locked out of their rooms or lost within the hotel. Those who encounter him describe a man in a dated uniform who disappears as soon as they turn away, leaving behind a sense of reassurance and warmth. Room 873 is another hotspot for paranormal activity. Legend has it that a family was murdered in this room, and their spirits have never left. Guests who stay in the room report hearing anguished cries and seeing bloody handprints on the mirrors, which reappear even after being cleaned. The room is said to be so haunted that the hotel has permanently sealed it off, yet the ghostly activity continues in the hallway outside. The Banff Springs Hotel also has its share of less well-known spirits, including a bartender who appears to cut guests off and a phantom bellman who offers to help with luggage but then vanishes. These spectral staff members add to the hotel's reputation as a place where the past is never far behind. The combination of the hotel's grand, historic atmosphere and its multitude of ghostly tales make the Banff Springs Hotel a fascinating and eerie destination. It's a place where the spirits of the past coexist with the present, weaving a tapestry of supernatural experiences that have captivated visitors for over a century. From the mountains of Canada, we journey to the deep south of the United States, to a place where history and mystery are intertwined. The Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana. Known as one of America's most haunted homes, the Myrtles Plantation is a grand antebellum mansion that holds a dark past filled with tales of tragedy and ghostly apparitions. The most famous ghost of the Myrtles is that of Chloe, a former slave. The story goes that Chloe was caught eavesdropping and, as punishment, had her ear cut off by her master. Seeking revenge, she baked a poisonous cake that inadvertently killed 2 of the plantation's children. In despair, Chloe was hanged by her fellow slaves, and her spirit is said to still haunt the plantation. Guests and staff have reported seeing a woman in a green turban wandering the grounds and peering through windows. Her ghost has even been captured in photographs, a spectral figure lingering near the house. Another tragic tale involves the ghost of a young girl who died in one of the plantation's bedrooms. Visitors often report seeing her ghostly figure sitting on the bed or standing by the window, a sad and forlorn presence. Some have heard the sounds of a child crying or laughing, and many have felt an icy touch on their skin, as if the child's spirit is reaching out for comfort. The Myrtles is also said to be haunted by the spirits of those who died violent deaths on the property. In 1800, William Winter, a former owner, was shot on the porch. Legend has it that he staggered inside and climbed the staircase, only to collapse and die on the 17th step. His ghost is said to repeat this tragic journey, with visitors reporting the sound of footsteps on the stairs, stopping abruptly at the 17th step. The plantation's history of violence doesn't end there. The house was built on what is rumored to be an ancient Tunica Indian burial ground, adding another layer of spectral lore. Visitors have experienced a wide range of paranormal activities, from ghostly apparitions to strange noises and inexplicable movements of objects. The Myrtles Plantation's haunted history, combined with its antebellum charm, makes it a compelling destination for those interested in the paranormal. It's a place where the echoes of the past resonate through the halls, and the spirits of those who lived and died there continue to make their presence known in unsettling ways. As we near the end of our journey through the world's most haunted places, we find ourselves in a forest that is as beautiful as it is tragic. Known as the Sea of Trees, Aokigahara Forest lies at the base of Mount Fuji in Japan. It is a dense, sprawling forest known for its stunning natural beauty and eerie silence, but it is also infamous for a much darker reason. Aokigahara Forest has gained a grim reputation as a place where people come to end their lives. It is said that the forest is haunted by the souls of those who have died there, their spirits trapped within the labyrinth of trees and rocks. The forest's dense canopy and porous lava ground absorb sound, creating an eerie silence that amplifies the feeling of isolation and despair. Local legend speaks of the Eerie, restless spirits who cannot find peace in the afterlife. These spirits are believed to wander the forest, their white, ethereal forms drifting between the trees. They are said to weep and wail, their sorrowful cries echoing through the woods, luring the living into the forest's depths. Visitors have reported seeing ghostly apparitions and feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness and despair, as if the very air is heavy with the weight of lost souls. The forest is also home to many markers and ribbons left by searchers and loved ones who have come to look for those who have disappeared. These markers add to the haunting atmosphere, with brightly colored tapes weaving through the trees like a macabre breadcrumb trail. They serve as a stark reminder of the lives lost and the loved ones left behind. There are countless stories of ghostly encounters within the forest. Some visitors claim to have seen shadowy figures darting between the trees or felt a cold, unseen hand brush against them. Others have reported hearing disembodied voices whispering their names or seeing eerie lights flickering in the distance. These experiences are often accompanied by a sudden drop in temperature or an overwhelming sense of dread. The forest's dark history is not limited to recent times. It is said that during periods of famine, families would abandon their elderly relatives in the forest to die, a practice known as ubasut. The spirits of these abandoned souls are believed to haunt the forest, their cries of anguish and betrayal mingling with the sorrowful wails of the Eerie. Despite its tragic associations, Aokigahara Forest remains a place of stunning natural beauty. The lush foliage, unique lava rock formations, and breathtaking views of Mount Fuji create a serene and almost otherworldly atmosphere. But beneath this serene facade lies a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of despair. Aokigahara Forest is a place where the natural and supernatural coexist, where the living and the dead walk side by side, and where the past and present are forever entwined. It is a place that calls out to the lost and the lonely, a silent witness to countless tragedies and a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. We've traveled the world and encountered spirits in grand hotels, dark forests, and ancient buildings, but our final destination takes us to a place frozen in time, where the echoes of the past reverberate through empty streets and crumbling buildings. We end our journey in Pripyat, Ukraine, a city abandoned in the wake of one of the world's worst nuclear disasters. Pripyat was once a bustling city, built to house the workers of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant and their families. On April 26, 1986, a catastrophic explosion at reactor number 4 of the power plant released massive amounts of radioactive material into the atmosphere. The residents of Pripyat were evacuated within 36 hours, leaving behind their homes, belongings, and the life they once knew. Today, Pripyat is a ghost town, its buildings and streets standing as a haunting reminder of the disaster. The city is eerily silent, with nature slowly reclaiming the land. Trees grow through the floors of apartment buildings, and wildlife roams freely through the deserted streets. But it's not just the physical remnants of the past that linger here. Many believe that Pripyat is haunted by the spirits of those who perished in the disaster and those whose lives were irrevocably altered. Visitors to Pripyat report an overwhelming sense of sorrow and despair, as if the city itself mourns the tragedy. The empty Ferris wheel in the abandoned amusement park is particularly poignant, its rusting skeleton a stark symbol of the joy and life that were abruptly extinguished. It is said that at night, ghostly figures can be seen walking through the park, and the faint laughter of children can be heard echoing through the air. One of the most haunted sites in Pripyat is the hospital, which treated the first victims of the Chernobyl disaster. The building is filled with the remnants of hurried evacuations, medical records, equipment, and personal belongings scattered throughout the rooms. It is said that the spirits of those who died in the hospital still linger, their restless souls wandering the corridors. Visitors have reported hearing the sound of distant footsteps, the moans of the dying, and the soft, sorrowful weeping of those who perished. The Pripyat Middle School is another location shrouded in ghostly lore. The classrooms are filled with dusty textbooks, abandoned toys, and forgotten homework, all left behind in the haste of evacuation. It is said that the spirits of children can be seen peering out of windows, their faces pressed against the glass, and that their ghostly voices can be heard singing lullabies and nursery rhymes, a haunting reminder of the young lives lost to the disaster. The city of Pripyat stands as a poignant testament to the devastation of the Chernobyl disaster. It is a place where the past is frozen in time, where the echoes of a once vibrant community linger in the air, and where the spirits of those who suffered and died continue to make their presence felt. It is a city of ghosts, haunted not just by the spirits of the dead, but by the memories of a tragedy that will never be forgotten. As we leave Pripyat, we are reminded of the fragility of life and the enduring impact of the events that shape our world. It is a haunting and sobering end to our journey, a place where the past and present converge in a way that is both poignant and profoundly unsettling. And there you have it, dear listeners, the 10 most haunted places in the world. From grand hotels to eerie forests, ancient cities to forgotten towns, we've explored locations where the past is never far away and where the spirits of the dead continue to walk among us. We hope you've enjoyed this chilling journey through some of the world's most haunted places. Remember, each of these locations holds its own unique stories and mysteries, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to explore their shadowy corners. If you found these tales of terror fascinating, please consider subscribing to our channel, 101 Ghost Stories, for more spine-tingling content. And don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment below with your thoughts or your own ghostly experiences. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us on this eerie adventure, and until next time, stay safe, keep your lights on, and remember, sometimes the things that go bump in the night are closer than you think. Goodbye, and may you have a peaceful night.